like shooters in there. So a lot of people brought a lot of blame in that regard too on response. Why didn't they go in there and kill those kids? Why don't they give, we had a discussion about it earlier today, why don't they give firearms to teachers? Very serious bullshit. Parents to say, this is what I suggest. And they have a perfect right to suggest that, right? Gosh, right? So, big discussion on that, so the response. What do we do as a society in response to this like this? You know, how do we prevent this from happening again? Now, knowing what we know, knowing as much as we could know about all of this, learning all of these lessons, you know, and Virginia Tech, right? Shooters in their college campus classroom, shooting it up, Johnny, right? And here we are now in the wake of it and thinking, what can we do? How do we prevent that in our society? Ideas.
Well, I think we drove teachers to be called like closer to their students, but that also went downhill too because since then, like, teachers have been getting involved with students. So I think that there's a thin line between getting involved and like knowing what they're doing and getting too involved.
Keep going.
I know we all have this self-definition.
All right, Mom, let me hear from some mommies. Mommy? Mommies have any, like, tell them any ideas?
I don't think there's a way to prevent all tragedy.
Okay.
I don't think there's a way to stop every single shooting anyway.
Okay.
There's always going to be someone that can do it and find a way to do it, no matter what we do.
All right, let me help you guys. How about metal detectors in our high school? Okay. Should we try and filter a high school? Go ahead.
I think so. We had them in mind, and we had a police substation in there too.
Okay. Other side. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
I didn't even know this, but like the other day, I picked a 4-year-old sister and I had to take her to school, and like, you can't even get into this, like, she goes to Helbeck Elementary, and you can't even get in there without like, how many to like get like paged in just from the door. I didn't even know that.
Thought you guys just had an induction in this county.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask how that happened because you have to be on the list.
Praise God, they don't. I just think so. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Can I ask a question? How did that even happen? Because any school that I've ever, I don't have any kids, but I've had to pick up like either kids from an ex or like my nieces and nephew and stuff. Anytime I've ever had to pick up a child from the school, I've had to be on a list to get that child.
Well, she was
What?
on the street walking.
Oh, she was?
She get that from school.
Well, why is the child walking home?
She lived like literally, you could see the school from the house.
Or you give them a specific time limit. My mom used to, if I ever had to walk home, I had 5 minutes to get home.
Okay.
If not, she was out there looking for me. If not,
What do you discuss about that? What's on your mind?
The thing I don't understand is, like, you know your child's going to school, you know they're young, you would figure they will put them in pairs. You know, always walk in groups, you're more likely not going to get approached by a man or woman in that situation, because 9 times out of 10, once you have another peer with you, you're more likely going to say something. You're going to tell somebody, no matter who it is, because of the simple fact you're in danger. You know.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know, I've been approached by countless strangers and kids walking to school, trying to buy drugs, whatever, and nothing issues. I just have a kid like that. It happens all the time.
Good. Go ahead. Yes.
For me,
Yes.
all I'm gonna say is I'm 56 years old, and boy, how times have changed. I'd walk home from school, sometimes I wouldn't even go straight home, I'd be a couple hours late. Nobody thought anything about it.
You're right. Go ahead.
My mom used to walk me to school and be there when I was coming out,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
or I walked with friends.
Yeah, and now, you know, I don't know if it was the prison that has made me completely paranoid about my baby. I was terrified for her to go to school. It was terrifying to me to take her. I almost didn't. I almost quit just to teach her myself because I was so afraid. And I knew I had to do it or I would never get over it. Afraid of something happening to her. Maybe, yeah, and like that, where I wasn't with her, where I couldn't protect her myself. Go ahead.
I am a mother of 3 girls,
Okay.
and my girls go to school across town. I live in Colorado Springs. I basically live in Southgate. They go to school on the west side of an elementary school that I went to when I was younger. And I pick them up and drop them off every day. Everybody at that school knows who I am.
Yeah. A lot of proactive parents now
When
try.
I was younger, I was almost kidnapped twice
Oh.
by the same man, and it was very freaky. So I took self-defense, became a blackout. Now I'm telling my 10-year-old daughter she needs to take part in this, looking at me like I'm crazy. But, you know, you gotta teach them.
It's a really interesting thing now that our society has advanced itself. It is in response to criminal action. It's advanced itself, period. And so Columbine is an example of that also. It's forced us to advance. 9/11 forced us to advance in the FDSA. We advance in response to some of these things in an attempt to make ourselves a more free society. It's not ironic. Okay, think about that. Go ahead.
Isn't what they like to say, the criminals are one step ahead of the law?
Yeah,
So
right.
You're never gonna catch up.
Okay.
You do what you can.
Okay. So when we say that, it's tough, right? It's tough to say that. As a parent, it's tough to hear that. We're never going to be able to stop. I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. Because I don't want anything to happen to her. And so it's hard, right? To think of that. You know, think of your loved ones. I don't want anything to happen to my mother when she's shopping at Walmart. So, what can we do as a society to prevent right things from happening? Columbine is that example. How do we prevent another Columbine? What are you willing to accept? You said, we talked a little bit about metal detectors, filtering the front doors of our high school, security guards. You have Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable search and seizure. There's a little bit of, you lose a little bit of rights as a student on a public school gathering. Of course, we know that about Fourth Amendment. That campus, those officials have a perfect right to police lockers, to do things like that. And it doesn't infringe against your Fourth Amendment. But what are you not willing to accept? What type of limitation? What's too far?
Strip search.
Strip search of kids?
Pat down.
Pat downs of children? I'm sorry?
Mandatory counseling.
Okay. That's interesting. Forced counseling?
Big topics like that.
How about bullies? Yeah, we love that. Are you willing to accept forced counseling of bullies?
And the only reason I'm thinking of the bullies is because of the bullies.
Wow.
Yeah. Unless they just like have a fun.
Okay. What else, guys? What else are you willing to accept, not willing to accept?
I think like those are all things like on a physical aspect that they could do that are just like, you know, force you to go through another detector, force you to get. But like then you start looking at like I don't know, more on a mental level, you know, social groups and exercises to break it down further than just a physical thing. And
Okay.
it's not just I don't know, how to be forced physically to be done anything, you know. So you want me to start focusing on when they see somebody that might stand out or they should have listened to a lot of those signs in not such a physical way, but